We are joined now by the United States team, led by Captain Keegan Bradley. Keegan, a heck of a battle out there today. How proud of you are you of your team?
Yeah, the boys really fought today. That was incredible. I didn't expect anything different. These guys are really an incredible group, and you know they played the last 2 days when we were way down. It looked, you wouldn't have known we were way down. They looked like they were battling. Their body language was good. They were pumping up the crowd. They were, they were fighting the whole way, even when things were not looking good. And I didn't expect anything different than today, than these guys who are determined, proud, and playing for each other, playing for their team, playing for their country. And they showed the world today that really anything's possible. That was a coin flip there for a second, and never been more proud of anything in my life.
Thank you, Keegan. We'll open it up for questions, starting over here on mic 1.
Hey, Don, at what point during the afternoon did you start to get the sense that the chips were falling in place to maybe make something historic happen?
Let me see. About probably when Scottie was on 9 or 10, it really started to turn. And then, the boys we won the 18th hole. Those were, we had to have those matches. When we sent out Cam Young first from New York to lead us out, we had to have that match. And he went up there and in front of the whole world, in front of his home state, made a 10-footer to beat Justin Rose, who's an all-time Ryder Cupper, and got to celebrate at Bethpage Black in front of everybody. And then Justin Thomas, same thing. I mean, we had to have that. Bryson was 5 down after 6, got that match back to even. And when with 28-3 references the other night, everything had to happen exactly the way for them to win, and it was looking there for a second like it was happening. And what a wild ride! What a fun day.
1 on 2.
So maybe you cannot call it a comeback, but in terms of performance today, you can say it's probably comparable or better than Medina on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, the Europeans won one match today. You think about the odds of something like that happening, just on a coin flip would be incredible. But when you go out when there's in the sports and you're battling your butt off to win, it just shows you just how proud these guys are and how much they want this and how how much this means to them. And to watch them go out all week and hold their heads high and then go out there today and do what they did is close to a miracle. We were this close to doing this, and it was just so fun for me to sit back and watch and say on the radio, say we got to have this putt, and it went in. Or all right, now we need JT to make it, and then he makes it. It was just to be able to do stuff like that under pressure is remarkable, and to watch it up close was special.
And talking about under pressure, quick follow-up, for the matches that were kind of in the middle, or JJ, or Scottie, or Xander, were you looking at the leaderboard? Were you paying attention to what was happening there?
I mean, Captain had a message for us to just worry about our own point. Obviously, it was hard not to peak when there were some USA chants ripping through the property. So, but for the most part, Captain's message to us was to focus on our point and nothing else. Whether you look at the board or not, however you operate is how you're supposed to do it. So that was kind of the mentality that I think all of us carried today.
We'll stay there on 2 with Sean.
For Justin, you had one of the early matches, and I imagine some of the most adrenaline of your life coming off of 18. Like, in the moments that follow, it just felt like something was building. So, what is going through your head? What are you telling your teammates? How are you deciding where to go to watch more golf? I felt like I saw you on 3 different holes. What is that like?
Yeah, I'm definitely good walking up that hill on 18. I did that enough today, but yeah, it's really hard to explain how fast. I mean, not only the week, but just the day goes. And I think I was maybe behind my putt, about to go into it on 17 when I assumed Cam made his. I heard a roar and I backed off, and then to see that he had won his match, and then it was like, okay, it just is one of those things. Like, yeah, we all we all deep down, I'm sure we felt like we could, but in reality, you look at it, it is what it is. But it just like Keegan said, everything just kept happening and happening and happening, and you're just the next match is the most important when you're in a position like we were going into today, and it was just important to get whoever was the closest to winning their match through, and it just kept happening and happening, and it was so cool to be a part of.
Up to Mike 6.
Hey, Keegan, what went into the decision to, with the course setup, particularly the short rough? What kind of did the data and your team set up for that short rough?
Yeah, I mean, we tried to set the course up to help our team. Obviously, it wasn't the right decision. I think anytime you're the leader of a team or you're the captain or the coach or whatever, we talked about this last night, you have to take, you're going to get the accolades and you need to take the blame for when things don't go well. And I definitely made a mistake on the course setup. I should have listened a little bit more to my intuition, and we for whatever reason, that wasn't the right way to set the course up. We didn't expect the greens to be this soft. They were as soft as I've ever seen greens without it raining, and then especially here, it can get pretty firm, and they never firmed up.
You said your intuition. Did the data say to cut the rough?
No, I mean we sat or I did and looked at a lot of info, and we thought this was the best way to set the golf course up to win. You look at past Ryder Cups, and that's kind of how it goes. But sometimes you got to make a decision on what to do. And if I could go back, I probably would have changed that. But the Europeans played just incredible golf. Doesn't matter how you set the course up when you play that well and you perform at that high level. I mean, that's as high of a level as a Ryder Cup team has ever played on for those 2 days, I think. And when that happens, they just beat you sometimes.
Up to Mike 10, please.
Hi, Keegan. You talked yesterday about some of the Super Bowls and the comebacks that told you that this was possible. I just wondered when you sort of gave that message to your team, what reaction you saw from your players that sort of reinforced that belief that this could be possible.
Yeah, I think I'll tell you what. We were talking with the vice captains last night when everyone went to bed that the team really believed they could win. I was honestly pretty surprised. I was on a team that got smoked, and we did not have that feeling. And when we went to bed, I was just astonished at how these guys were like, "We're going to win this," and they believed it. They weren't just saying it. And I could see the belief in their eyes. I could see it this morning. I could see their body language. Like, these guys they weren't moping around. They were ready to go out there and win and play their hardest, and they did that.
Kyle, go ahead.
Yeah. Keegan, I know you haven't had a ton of time to reflect on just the last year and a half and everything that led into this, but when you think about that, is there anything that you would change or do different in terms of not just for your captaincy, but like for future captaincies that you would advise future captains to maybe go about differently in the lead up to the Ryder Cup?
No, I mean, I'm 3 seconds to 20 minutes after losing. I haven't put much thought into it. I do. I had to learn a lot on the fly. I had to rely on a lot of people. I was going up against an incredible team, and in my eyes, probably I think he's the best European Ryder Cup captain of all time, Luke Donald. And I did the best that I could, and trying to balance playing. But it's the most fun thing I've ever done in my life. I wouldn't trade any of this for a second. I woke up every day excited to do this. It turned me into a different person that I am today, that I'm very thankful for these guys for.
Up to Todd.
Keegan, right here. I know Victor was injured and Harris unfortunately had to set out. This has been a long tradition in the captain's agreement. Would you wish that this would be looked at to maybe find an alternative if a player is injured moving forward?
Yeah, it has to change.
Do you have any ideas?
I have a few ideas, but I'm not going to tell you right now. But I mean, the rule has to change. I mean, I think it's obvious to everybody in the sports world, in this room. Nothing against Victor, but that rule needs to change by the next Ryder Cup.
Over to here, both of you on 13.
Gentlemen, obviously not the outcome you were looking for, but I'm just curious if each and every one of you guys realize truly how proud the American fans are of you guys and the performance you put on today. Do you guys have a sense of that? What's going on the other side?
There were definitely a lot less Olays out there today. A lot more USAs, which was nice to hear.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly felt it. These guys are probably too focused on what they were doing because, you know, these New York crowds are tough, and they had every right to be pissed off at us for, you know, being down and being at their course and not performing at what they felt like. And quite frankly, I was nervous about today. But when, you know, New York fans and hardworking people and, you know, people that grew up around here see people playing with that sort of heart and that sort of passion and that sort of grit of not giving up, they get behind that pretty quick.
Hi, question for Justin. Justin, you were active yesterday in whipping up the crowd before the game against Rory and Shane Lowry, and you witnessed the abuse that was dished out to them. And you also saw, I'm sure, that there were police dogs brought in and there were extra state troopers. How close do you think we're getting to a position where the safety of golfers, both US golfers and European golfers, is in danger?
I mean, I don't think anybody's safety was necessarily in danger. I understand what you're saying. I mean, words hurt too. There's definitely some nasty things said, but I don't think anybody was necessarily fearing for their life or was in any kind of situation where they were going to get hurt. But yeah, I think it's anybody that was out there could pretty blatantly tell you that there were some things said. And yeah, it was. I mean, I said it to Cam and I said it to Shane and Rory yesterday that we felt for him. It was you know, it was unfortunate, and Cam and I just wish that we gave them something to cheer for instead of people to cheer against. I think that was kind of the main consensus of the last 2 days, and we weren't giving them enough to cheer for, and they were just trying to help us win. But I guess that's the New York fans for you.
Up to Paul on 18.
Scottie, back here, just wondering the range of emotions you went through this week. You know, obviously ending it on a positive, but struggling through the first couple of days.
Yeah, I mean, emotions of the week. I think you're always really excited to get these types of events started. Keegan and our vice captains put us in a position to succeed. You know, they did everything that was asked of them, and I had extreme confidence in what this team could do. And that's due to our captain. I think they did an amazing job. Keegan did an amazing job, and I mean, my emotions yesterday afternoon when the matches ended, I think it's hard to put into words how much it hurts to lose all 4 matches, to have the trust of my captain and my teammates to go out there and play all 4 matches and lose all 4. It's really hard to put into words how much that stings and hurts. And, you know, I'll go back and reflect on that. But one of the coolest things was these guys picking me up last night, and the guys on this team. This is a really special group of guys. We have a special captain, and I was proud to be standing there fighting with these guys today. And I think it showed a lot about our team. I think it showed a lot about the job that all these guys did to put us in a position to succeed. And, you know, I mean, I can't tell you how much fun it was watching Bryson in front of me hitting those putts, coming back from 5 down, walking down 17 and seeing JT hold that putt, walking down 16, hearing the roar for Cam. I mean, I can't tell you how much I needed these guys this week. And, you know, it's just a really special group. And it was, you know, probably one of the lowest moments of my career, but, you know, it turned out to be one of the most special just because I've got great friends in this room, and, you know, was really proud to be battling with these guys for 3 days.
Right here, Alan.
This is for Keegan. You mentioned how much you had to learn on the fly. Europe always stresses continuity from their captains, their vice captains, their statisticians, the whole operation. What do you think the PGA of America could do better, you know, foundationally, to put the next captain in a stronger position to succeed?
Well, first off, the PGA of America put me in an amazing position to succeed. They gave me every resource. They gave me every option. I had everything at my fingertips. This is no one's fault but mine. I you know, when you're the leader of the team and you're the coach, the captain, whatever you want to call it, and you lose, you have to take the blame. This is no one else's fault. This is no one else's PGA of America or whatever it is. Sometimes you go up in sports, you go up against an opponent that sometimes beats you, and they play better, and they play better than us. We gave it a great fight, that's for sure, but everybody put me in the best position to succeed. It was a unique approach, and like I said, I had to learn on the fly. But I had also been on a lot of these teams, and I had the resources of all the vice captains, but all the previous captains as well that helped me. And I think what the goal was to give the captaincy a fresh face of a different way to go about things. And unfortunately, it didn't work out, but we have some momentum going forward. I think we can continue down this road, and I'll help out the best I can to help the next captain or the next whoever it is.
Art, go ahead.
Yeah, Scottie, could you just talk a little bit about what today's match meant to you after the rough weekend? You know, Randy was saying he thought you had tears in your eyes on 18, and you played other singles matches, but what that match meant to you to come out with the win against world number 2 after the weekend you'd had?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think when I go back and look at the first couple of days of this tournament, at times it felt like a perfect storm of things were happening against us. And then today, we had some stuff that seemed to go right. And really, at the end of the match, I mean, I was just proud to be able to get a point up on the board. Like you said, it was a difficult week for me personally. And I was just proud to get a point up on the board and keep this thing alive for a little bit longer. And I mean, I can't speak enough to the fight that these guys have in this room. I mean, the battle that we, after the butt whooping we got the first 2 days of this tournament, to come back today and play like we did, I think really shows a lot of heart. I think it shows a lot of spirit within our team room. And like I said, I'm really proud of these guys, and I was proud to be able to keep this thing going for a little bit longer.
It was the first ever 1 and 2 matchup in a Ryder Cup singles match before. In your mind, does that signify this year and what you've accomplished, and really solidifies for yourself what your position is in the golf world?
I mean, I don't really think about that stuff very often. Like I said, I was just proud to be able to get a point up on the board. We needed to get some red up on the board early, and we were able to do that. And I think everybody was surprised how good of a scare we gave the Europeans today. And they had a tremendous first 2 days. I mean, the amount of putts I saw go in. I mean, they played amazing golf the first 2 days of this tournament. That's why they're the winners. And for us, like I said, I'm proud of the fight and the spirit in this room. These guys were amazing. Our whole team. I mean, this was an amazing team, and I'm obviously pretty gutted to not be sitting here as the winning Ryder Cup team. But at the end of the day, Keegan, our vice captains, the PGA of America, everybody put us in a position to succeed. And at the end of the day, just wasn't able to get it done.
Over to Shane.
Over here, question for Keegan or Scottie or Russell. Really small question, but I noticed on Friday and Saturday a different player teed off on number 1, and was just curious what went into switching that.
I'll just keep it rolling. Russell and I felt like with the way the golf course had changed, we had anticipated the golf course playing a certain way, and then things changed for us. Kind of when you see it in competition, I think it was more important for us to have a little bit more length off the tee. And then Russell, with the way he hits his irons, felt like we had a better chance with his lower ball flight of getting the ball in close. That was really all it came down to. It was just really seeing the golf course in competition as we were playing it. When we got done on Friday night, my Teddy and Andy, when I went down in the team room to go cold tub, they were sitting there at the table, and they had brought up the idea of us switching. And the more that they kind of looked at it, we felt pretty strongly that would give us a better chance. And, I think it did. And most of that was just the nature of how much the golf course changed. And, Russell is a guy that hits a ton of fairways. And we just felt, I think, a little bit more length off the tee was important. And I obviously don't hit as many fairways as Russell. And so the rough this week wasn't as penal, I think, as we anticipated. And so when you see it in competition, I think that's part of the kind of ebbs and flows and of really team golf.
Dumb question, sorry for the fault. Do you ever, in those situations, go talk to the scouts guys, like the stats people, and get their opinion on that? Or is that more of like we're going to decide among ourselves?
No, I mean, first person I called was, I think I called Gary, and he didn't answer. So then I called Webb, and Webb answered. And we just talked through it for about 3 or 4 minutes. And I think he was in the room with you. And was one of the scouts in there? I don't even remember. But
I don't either.
Yeah. It was just one thing that Russell and I felt like could give us a better chance on Saturday, and we went with it. And, we did our best. I'd like to have that wedge shot on 18 back. And, Yeah, I don't really have much to elaborate on that.
Dylan?
Yeah, for Cameron and Bryson, you guys had kind of opposite days, I guess, but both had pretty special matches coming down to 18. I was wondering if, you could each just take us through your experience of the day.
Yeah, obviously went through kind of a range of emotions just through the whole day. Got off to a good start and kind of felt like nothing could go wrong. And then Justin Rose started doing some interesting things, made some putts on me, and all of a sudden feels like I'm just going to give it away. And then, to have a putt there on 18 to get a full point for the team was all I could have asked for. Like all you guys have been saying, it was a day of trying to put a point on the board, and went through a lot of different things, but happy to have had that opportunity on the last hole.
Yeah, I mean, today I didn't get off to the best of starts, and Matt was playing really well. It's one of those situations where I didn't play bad. I just didn't have anything go my way. 3-putted 3, and just didn't really get anything going until number 8. He gave me a little glimmer of hope, and I took it. And, it was one of those situations where I just thought back to what Xander said. It's not over till the whistle blows, and I wasn't willing to give up for this team. They've been so amazing to me this week, and for however long I've known myself to be on this team. They've just been incredible, and I couldn't give up for these guys. And so my thought process was to just keep swimming, just keep moving, and keep fighting back. And I fought my ass off today for this team, for this country, and we all fought hard today. I mean, you can see it reflects in the leaderboard and what we did today. We're not quitters. We're not people to go down easy, and so proud to be a part of this team. And it was great to get a half point out of it. Wish I would have gotten a point though.
And Cameron, you've been clear kind of all summer just how much it would mean to be here at this golf course on this team. How did the reality match up?
It's been incredible. I mean, from the moment I got the call from Keegan, I feel like this group is incredibly close. We were incredibly driven to win this week, and I think that's been the coolest part of it for me, is to just be one of the 12 guys that's here playing for our country, playing for each other. That last bit there where we were making a run, I don't know about any of you guys, but I haven't felt anything like that playing golf before. I mean, that was truly unbelievable to watch. One after the other just start making putts, fighting the way that they did. I've never seen anything like that, and I've never felt anything like that. Watching golf, playing golf, doesn't matter. So I think it's really just a testament to, how much it means to all of us to be here, and how much we all want to play well for each other. It was truly unbelievable.
Finish up with one more with Adam.
Keegan, winning home and away is going to make Luke a legend as a Ryder Cup captain, but what specifically makes you think that he's the best one ever?
Well, I mean, he won home and away, and he won Ryder Cup in New York in Bethpage. I think Luke, I think he's an incredible leader. He's really quiet, and I think he was able to kind of come out of his shell, I guess, a little in these Ryder Cup years. And, I think he turned, this European team into like a really unstoppable force, especially the first 2 days. And, in my eyes, I think he's the best European Ryder Cup captain ever. And I was really excited to go up against him, but I knew it was going to be tough to beat him. And he put his team in the best position to win. And, to do that at these two places is, a remarkable feat.
And I know you're taking a lot of responsibility for the defeat. Is there anything that you point to as where you felt like he out-captained you?
I have no clue. No, don't know. I mean,
we need to
sure
make more putts. That's what we needed. That's what Keegan needed to do. Make us make more putts. That's what he needed to do.
I don't. I think in a lot of ways, when you're the away captain, there's a lot less decisions. So, when you're the home captain, you got to set up the course. And, I wish I could have some of those decisions back. I definitely feel I made a few mistakes there, but it's tough to tell that it's going to rain before the Ryder Cup. It's tough to tell sort of the way the course is going to be when we're here. We didn't want the greens to be like this soft. They were perfect, but and the grounds crew did an incredible job. But I got to take responsibility for this outcome for sure.
Thanks for your time, guys.